What if Earth swapped out the moon for something bigger, smaller, shinier, or straight up deadly? From tidal chaos to acid rain showers, the results get wild fast. Let's dive right into it.
You wake up after a short nap like Kyle over here. You're lying in a field under a full moon with your girlfriend. You say to her, "Isn't this romantic?" But she says, "Well, it's just the moon." Excuse me? Just the moon? It is indeed the moon. The one that literally controls our tides and stabilizes Earth's tilt. How dare she think it's boring? Well, not only is your fashion awful, your taste in girls is the same. But why don't we grant her wish? Let's replace the moon, but not with just any space object, no. With other moons. Ones that might actually impress her, and hopefully definitely not kill her. Just kidding. Or am I?
Honestly, calling the moon just the moon is like calling pizza just bread with stuff. This thing basically keeps Earth from wobbling like a drunk Beyblade and gives us tides, which, fun fact, are the reason ancient coastal critters evolved into landwalkers. No moon, no us binge-watching streaming services today.
Let's start with something so simple, yet extreme. 2 moons. You've heard of 2 suns, but oh boy, this might be even worse. Actually, it is worse, Kyle. While Jupiter has 95 moons, Pluto has 5, and Saturn has 1 million, we only have 1. And it serves us well, until now where your girlfriend wished it away. So what would happen if we became a multi-moon planet like the others around us? Obviously, we'd see 2 moons at night. It could be brighter by up to 5 times more, but there would be chaos across the globe. See, our current moon already does a lot of work for Earth. It helps control our tides through gravity and stabilizes our planet's tilt and rotation, which gives us consistent seasons. That means it allows us to have thriving oceans that allow us to live. And also get hay fever, that allow us to feel the 10th circle of hell in our noses. With 2 moons pulling on our oceans, we'd see massive tidal shifts, potentially up to 8 times higher than what we experience now. Those peaceful beach vacations, gone forever. Waves would reach up to heights of 15 to 18 meters instead of the typical 2 meters we see today. And yes, that would be regular waves, not tsunamis. Coastal cities would need enormous seawalls just to survive. And areas that never experienced flooding would suddenly find themselves underwater not once, but twice a day. You might just have to move, Kyle, and if you are in the Netherlands, just give up. Also, that brightness I mentioned, this might sound nice for your nighttime walks and whatever else you do on the beach, but it would seriously mess with animals. It would block the night sky, so birds that navigate by the stars would lose their way. Nocturnal predators would struggle to hunt and would have to evolve better camouflage. Even coral reefs would suffer since their spawning cycles depend on specific moonlight conditions.
2 moons sounds romantic until you realize it's less Romeo and Juliet and more Waterworld, but with worse Kevin Costner hair. Those 15 to 18 meter waves, that's like every coastal city signing up for a daily IMAX screening of The Perfect Storm. And the wildlife chaos, birds crashing into each other like drunk drones, coral reefs throwing off their lunar party schedules. It's basically ecological YOLO. Funny thing though, ancient myths often imagined extra moons as omens. Turns out the ancients weren't paranoid, just good at math.
Earth's rotation would also take a hit. Our current moon already slows Earth's spin through what we call tidal friction, and adding a second one would accelerate that process. If we could only accelerate your terrible relationship ending faster. Oh, sorry, I got sidetracked. The moons would interact with each other gravitationally, obviously. And if they shared an orbit, absolute chaos. Though regardless of where you really put the second one, they'd eventually either collide with each other, or one would get ejected from Earth's orbit entirely. We'd be stuck with a weird orbiting moon that would raise tsunamis permanently and most likely force the Earth's orbit to physically change. Permanently. And yes, even with such a small shift, it would become a frozen wasteland. Like if a year became 14 months, frozen as fuck. And the other outcome would be the collision between the moons, which would result in death that looks something like this. Alright, that was a lot, but your girlfriend asked for it, Kyle. And she looks a little bit traumatized. Maybe we try something that doesn't destroy us with water waves and make turtles blind at nighttime, or destroy the planet.
Adding a second moon is basically giving Earth the worst case of roommate drama in cosmic history. Tidal friction already makes our days longer by about 1.7 milliseconds per century. Add another moon and suddenly Earth's rotation is slamming the brakes like a bus driver spotting a pigeon.
What if instead of double moons, we try a tiny moon instead? And I'm sure your girlfriend will think this will be boring too because she's already used to your tiny friend in the bedroom. But just wait. Meet Phobos, a moon from Mars. A moon this much smaller than our normal moon would barely be a visible speck that would whiz across the night sky. Forget super tides or bright nights, Kyle. With Phobos, the gravitational pull would be far weaker. Not quite zero, but you could say it. Earth's oceans might barely ripple, surfers would not exist, which is a good thing, but it also means no massive tidal forces to shape our shorelines, which would be a bad thing for life. Remember that the moon has an effect on the Earth's rotation? Well, billions of years ago, the Earth used to rotate in 5 hours. But if we always had Phobos as our moon, it could be around 15 hours now and not 24. So with that amount of rotation, it would be quite windy, like my lactose intolerance on date night. And that's not the only problem, Kyle. Imagine trying to sleep when the sun rises again after just 4 hours of darkness. Say goodbye to your morning routine if 5 a.m. is lunchtime. The extra crazy thing is that it would have completely changed how the Earth's coast evolved from the lack of erosion from water, because no tides. And because it's so small, Kyle, it would end up orbiting much closer to Earth too. However, unlike our large moon, Phobos wouldn't stabilize the Earth's tilt. So that means Earth's seasons could become wildly unpredictable. Imagine 50-degree summers and minus 20-degree winters all in the same year. That's a little less concerning than the fact that the Earth's tilt does change a little bit around the 23 degrees we have, but without a moon, it might go up to 45 degrees.
Phobos as our moon would basically turn Earth into a spin cycle set to chaotic mode. With a 15-hour day, winds would howl nonstop, and our circadian rhythms would collapse harder than my New Year's resolutions.
We'd be like Uranus. Isn't that insane? And you know what's even crazier? The lack of consistent moonlight could push nocturnal creatures to adapt in weird ways, like developing better night vision. Or they would just die. So what did you think, Kyle's girlfriend? Still bored? Wait, your favorite animal was an owl? Well, that's unlucky, but fortunately, there's a lot more to come. Hold on to your eyeballs, Kyle, because we're about to get really bright. And not only from the moons, but also in your mind. Because today's sponsor is brilliant.
That cut into the sponsor was actually pretty funny, like smooth in its own chaotic way. Gravipull just went from Earth becomes a weather roulette wheel to time to level up your brain without missing a beat. And that's skill. If anyone deserves the sponsor love, it's him. He's dropping astrophysics and punchlines back to back, so of course I'm leaving it running.
This is my go-to app for learning actual science without needing to be traumatized like Kyle. It helps you get smarter every day with thousands of interactive lessons in physics, astronomy, math, and even AI. Brilliant will make your critical thinking skills absolutely reach for the moon by making you a better thinker without forcing you to just memorize things. Each lesson is filled with hands-on problem solving so you can play with concepts in a method 6 times more effective than simply watching lectures. And the lessons are designed by elite researchers and teachers. Myself, I've enjoyed the science courses that allow me to understand the universe at every level, from basic mechanics to Gravipull warping physics of black holes, something you should also do if you want to end up a 5-dimensional being. Along with full courses on math that allow you to do the calculations you see in these videos, the data trading or the programming courses, you can use Brilliant for free for 30 days when you use the link brilliant.org/Gravipull, and then get 20% off the annual premium when you realize how much you love it. And now that our minds are brighter, Kyle, let's meet the brightest moon, Enceladus, the ice-covered beauty from Saturn's orbit. This moon doesn't just reflect light, it reflects 99% of it. That's right, 99%. So bright you could literally read a book at midnight.
Enceladus is basically the diva of moons, rocking a 99% reflectivity. That's shinier than fresh snow under a spotlight, bright enough to read midnight novels without a lamp. Imagine night skies glowing like a cosmic floodlight. Romantic, sure, until every insomniac on Earth starts blaming Saturn for their eye bags.
However, it's way smaller than the moon, so in order for it to be that bright, we need to bring it closer. Well, as you can see, we'd have the same problem as with 2 moons from before, but this time it would be even worse. This moon isn't just a shiny snowball. It has these epic cryovolcanoes. Volcanoes that shoot jets of water vapor and ice particles into space. Imagine that icy mist from Enceladus spreading around Earth, creating a faint water ring around us. This would not be like Saturn's rings at all. And it would also potentially cascade into our atmosphere with its organic molecules, such as methane. This could either heat up the whole planet, or if you included the water vapor in that, create even more rain and flooding, or it could even create clouds high up in the stratosphere that reflect sunlight and make the Earth colder, to the point that agriculture fails and we all starve. So, pick your apocalypse. But enough with the small stuff, it's time to get large, and we don't need a magic blue pill for it like I did last night, Kyle. Meet Ganymede. While its sheer size is impressive, it's the magnetic field that really sets it apart. Unlike any other moon in our solar system, Ganymede generates its own magnetic field. You want to learn something that isn't boring, Kyle's girlfriend? The moon had a magnetic field once upon a time and worked together with the Earth to protect us from insane radiation while the Earth figured out how to power up her own magnetic field. Take that, Marvels. This allowed life to evolve more safely just so you could exist and look like you do. Which I agree isn't great. I mean, look at you. But there is no reason why Ganymede wouldn't do the same if it orbited Earth instead of our moon. We'd also experience auroras on an unprecedented scale. The stunning light shows we typically see on the poles could stretch way further. Maybe. Like lighting up skies from Mexico to Egypt. You know, maybe.
This moon as our neighbor would basically hand Earth a menu of apocalypses. Would you like flooding, famine, or a casual ice age with that? Its cryovolcano mist could wrap us in a soggy space scarf, and yeah, pretty but deadly. Then there's Ganymede, huge, magnetic, flexing harder than any other moon. Imagine auroras not just at the poles, but spanning continents, turning night skies into permanent rave mode. Gorgeous, yes, but also maybe humanity doesn't need EDM in the stratosphere 24/7.
However, that's where the good part ends. Ganymede's magnetic field would interact with the Earth's, creating complex and unpredictable effects. The most immediate would be on our technology. Phones would constantly freeze, power grids would frequently shut down, and your electronic devices would struggle to function because there'd be no internet. So in your case, no more get ready with me TikToks, Kyle's girlfriend. And it wouldn't stop there. Animals that rely on Earth's magnetic field for navigation, like sea turtles, migrating birds, and certain species of fish, would become completely confused. They'd lose their natural navigation abilities, leading to widespread confusion in the animal kingdom. What's that? You guys don't care about these poor animals losing their only will to live? What's wrong with you? Let's start removing your will to live with the next absolutely horrifying and brutal scenarios you will ever experience. I'm going to show you even weirder, more powerful, and more extreme moon replacements. Because you deserve it. Meet Titan from Saturn, where it's really cold. But see, when these moons that move next to Earth come from places like that, they get way more sunlight, and they all heat up from the extra solar radiation. Titan would be no different, and for a brief period, within let's say a decade or so, it might become a vacation spot with decent temperatures. But instead of wearing those spacesuits like on the moon, all you'd need is an oxygen mask. In theory. Titan has these beautiful lakes made of methane and ethane, maybe even some water. Perfect for a nice scenic drive. But only for a little bit, Kyle, because very soon those lakes would start evaporating. The planet would get too hot to be on, and bam! Now you've got gases swirling around in space, and what's that? Oh yeah, a nice little dust cloud around the Earth. See, all the gas evaporates from the surface because Titan has no magnetic field to keep its atmosphere. Then those gases would mix with the Earth's atmosphere over a long period of time, and the potential result? Heat and acid rain, Kyle and Kyle's girlfriend. Acid rain everywhere. But not the cute kind that makes your plants grow. This acid rain is the stuff that burns crops and poisons water supplies, like nature's version of battery acid.
So Ganymede might give us auroras, but it also hands out free Wi-Fi destruction and turtle disorientation, basically the worst patch notes ever. Then Titan steps in like a cosmic Airbnb, methane lakes, scenic drives, breathable temperatures with an oxygen mask accessory pack. Sounds dreamy until those lakes boil off, leaving Earth wrapped in a toxic haze. Acid rain everywhere, not the artsy music video kind, more like your tomatoes dissolve mid-harvest. It's nature saying, congrats, you unlocked hard mode.
Oh yeah, now we're talking. Kyle's girlfriend is getting traumatized again. Yes, that's what we want. Let's do more. Bring out Io, otherwise known as Jupiter's volcanic hellscape. It has hundreds of volcanoes that shoot sulfur and other materials hundreds of kilometers high. From Earth, our night sky would look like a constant fireworks show, as these eruptions would be visible to the naked eye. But without Jupiter to squeeze it to make those volcanoes so powerful, there'd be less. And it might even stabilize our tilt a little bit, and even slow down our rotation normally for millions of years. What's that? You're saying this isn't deadly at all, and why did I choose this one? I just wanted you guys to feel relief, because I left out the most important detail. The sulfur dioxide from Io's eruptions could reach Earth's atmosphere, and this would create rain way more acidic than the Titan scenario. It would heat up the entire planet, kill plants, and melt your faces and skin like it's made out of hot butter. Look at her trying to leave you, Kyle. She can't stay by your side during the bad times like I can. She was never the one. I told you, man. Wait, why are you whispering in my ear? You wanted to experience even deadlier moons? Finally, you understand me, Kyle. Join me. I'll keep you safe as I show her the true power of moons. Let's see, what if we found a moon from outside the solar system? Like the one that may be orbiting exoplanet Kepler 1625b. Yes, this would be the first exomoon discovered if confirmed, but that could also be up to the size of Neptune, so let's just downsize that bad boy to Earth size. It's still a chunky moon, a lunar chunk. Again, not like those obese cats from Reddit, but Earth's thick twin. And I don't mean my BBL.
EO is basically the firecracker friend who seems fun at parties until you realize their confetti is molten sulfur that dissolves crops and skin alike. The night sky would look gorgeous, sure, but also smell like a rotten egg apocalypse. And then we jump to that possible Kepler exomoon, downsized to Earth size, but still a cosmic heavyweight. It's less cute companion and more mirror universe twin, the kind of moon that makes ours look like the budget version.
Welcome to the binary planet system, basically. But it's still a moon, technically. If this absolute unit of a moon took our current moon's place, Earth would no longer be the main character. See, you know how some planets get so close to their stars they get tidally locked and maybe eaten? Or even how the moon is tidally locked to the Earth where they can only show one side due to gravity, even if it does rotate by itself? Well, now Earth would also be tidally locked to this new gigantic moon, an infinite staring contest. One side of the Earth would always see the moon, 15 days of night at a time in the other, but here's the real fun. The tides with the other moons we looked at might have been slightly affected by these slightly larger moons, compared to what we usually have, but nothing too crazy. Now, this Earth-sized moon would yeet ocean water hundreds of kilometers inland, twice, every single day. So New York is gone, Tokyo's underwater, and your favorite Starbucks is now serving iced lattes to sharks. Tidal forces wouldn't just throw water. They'd squeeze the crust of the Earth like a stress ball. Earthquakes, volcanoes, supervolcanoes. Yellowstone would wake up like it heard its alarm for the first time in 640,000 years.
An Earth-sized moon would basically demote us from planet to sidekick. Tidal locking means half the globe stuck in a staring contest, the other half on a 15-day blackout cycle. And those tides, forget beach trips. This thing would fling seawater deep inland twice a day, turning cities into aquariums.
And because big moons steal spin energy, or just remove it, Earth's rotation would slow down. Hard. Eventually, days would become 28 days long, Kyle. That means your ex-girlfriend's bad days at work now last 624 hours. You know, if she survived all the other stuff. Okay, Kyle, are you happy? She survived the double moons, the tiny moons, the cryo moons, the lava moons, the magnetic moons, the methane moons, and even a second Earth-sized moon. She's been stretched, flooded, blinded, and flash-fried by acid. So I'll give her what she wants now, a peaceful ending. Just kidding, I saved the best for last anyway. You ever wanted Saturn-style rings around Earth, Kyle? Well, you're in luck because Triton, Neptune's icy nightmare, is the only moon that naturally wants to get closer. And not like your ex-girlfriend who clearly didn't. This icy bastard orbits in retrograde, which means it orbits opposite the Earth's rotation, and it's the only large moon in the solar system to do so. Not only would Triton slow Earth's rotation even faster so days will get even longer, eventually, it will actively begin to fall towards Earth, like it does with Neptune right now. However, it's a bit smaller with way less mass, and less dense, which means it'll do that until it crosses the Roche limit. That's the kill zone, about 11,500 kilometers from Earth. Cross that line and gravity says, "You shall not pass," as it then tears Triton apart like a hungry bodybuilder eating a rotisserie chicken after leg day. Pieces of ice and rock flying everywhere until the Earth swoops them up, and there you go, Kyle. Welcome to Earth rings. But not pretty ice Saturn rings again. No, we are way too close to the sun for that. These are chunky half rock, half ice murder rocks. They'd cast shadows across whole nations. Some countries would get permanent dusk, agriculture dead, weather chaos, insta-climate apocalypse. And if you thought meteor showers were fun, welcome to your daily ring rain caused by Earth's magnetic field and gravity. Big pieces of city killers falling to the surface. Humanity would now need an anti-meteor defense system just to survive Thursdays. And guess what, Kyle? That'll happen until the rings are all gone, a few thousand years later, and there will be none left. No more moon, just a destroyed and scorched Earth. Of course, none of that would happen anyway, because as Triton gets closer and closer to the Roche limit, The tidal forces are bulging on the Earth that would be 11,000 times than what the moon does to us at this moment. Which means it would cause mass earthquakes and volcanoes along with your regular 50-meter tsunamis that would ruin all the fresh water, causing mass dehydration. And as soon as Triton was killed, it would cause a massive heat influx and city-sized rocks, making the Earth a blazing hellfire world of despair and skeleton toast, including your ex-girlfriend. So next time you do pick a new girlfriend, make sure she likes the moon, Kyle, because without it, you'd be like two extreme space objects smashing into each other.
And there it is, the cosmic mic drop, from two moons yeeting oceans onto land, to Titan's acid spot treatment, to Triton shredding itself into apocalyptic murder confetti. Every scenario proves just how fragile Earth's setup really is. Gravipull absolutely crushed this one. Links in the description. Next time, let's just say things are gonna get even stranger. Stay nerdy.